This is such an exciting day that we are not going to move away from the markets at all. From the Chicago Merc, where you saw all that action in the pit, to the New York Stock Exchange. We're back now looking at the Chicago Merc. That's where that open pit streaming trading is going on. But you better believe we've got a lot of folks streaming it at the New York Stock Exchange as well. But our own Jeff Flock is right there in the pit with the guys. Jeff, what's going on now?
I want to give you this perspective here now. There's a guy I think we can get to. Bob, will you follow me right now? Okay, come on, let's go around here. We've got a guy. I think we can get our microphone in to a guy in the pit just to kind of give you. I heard the descriptions you were giving from the studio. Hey, Bobby. Oh, I know it's crazy. What's it like in there at the moment?
Oh, this is exactly what we wanted to see. We wanted to see the markets come back to get some strength. It's going to put an awful lot of confidence back into the public and also the system.
You think so? What's this about, though? What's sparking it?
Right now, just before 1 o'clock, Bush came out and J.P. Morgan came out and said the Fed's going to boost, and try to stimulate the economy in many different ways. It's not over yet.
It's not over yet, meaning?
The stimulation. We might see lower interest rates. We might see more money pumped into the system. Might see more tax cuts.
You weren't here this morning. Was that by design?
Yes, it was. I decided to take this morning off.
You came into the pit almost as this rally took off. What the hell do you know that nobody knows?
Well, like I said, the rhetoric that came out just before 1 o'clock is what pumped all this volume up and brought us up over 5,000 points.
Where's this going?
Where's it going right now? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see when the dust settles, but a recovery like this is exactly what we want to see. We're going to see how the Asian and the European markets react tonight. That'll give us a little more indication.
Bobby Gall, one of the market makers. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much. Back to you guys.
Yeah, Bobby just lost money while Jeff was interviewing him. Thanks very much. Jeff, we're going to keep your camera up. I want to bring back in the panel and Peter Schiff. What do you make of this kind of move here where the Dow has seen such a massive point swing and now we're up more than 270 points?
I don't really much of anything of it. You guys need to refrain your enthusiasm. It's not a football game here. The market's going to go up and down. You're going to have short covering rallies. Is this a meaningful short-term bottom? I don't know. Maybe we'll have a few days of rallies. The charts still look pretty bad. We've done a lot of technical damage to the market. We are now finally in a bear market, at least in the NASDAQ. I've been saying that for a long time. You guys have been saying, well, it's not really a bear market because we're not down 20%. Well, the NASDAQ, I think, this morning was down 23%. We have a terrible economy. It's going to get worse. Stocks are expensive, and they're going to look a lot more expensive once their earnings disappear. So, if anything, you've got a little bit of a bounce here. It's an opportunity for people to sell.
Okay, Tom,
and then they got to sell their dollars.
Dad says we have to restrain our enthusiasm.
Well, I love Peter. But Peter reminds me of a clock that's stuck at 3:15. He's wrong every minute of the day except for twice a day. And then he tells you he's a genius.
Yes,
Peter,
look, creating wealth.
Are you kidding me?
Peter, I'm trying to defend you. Let me. Gold. He's been right about gold. He's been right about certainly that we were perhaps heading to a bear market, albeit very briefly at the moment. But
for 15 years he's been saying that. In the meantime, the Dow's been up 3 times as much.
You've been on. I've never heard you say something.
You got to tell me what's going up. You got to tell me a month before it goes up that it goes up, and a month before it goes down it goes down.
But what about now, Tom? Now,
look, this is going to start a rally because people believe that the federal government and the Federal Reserve is serious about kickstarting the economy and keeping the recession from happening.
All they can do is create inflation.
Mike Norman, Peter says this is just a short covering rally. What do you say?
I don't agree. We've seen this over and over again, time and time again. The Federal Reserve has enormous impact on the economy. We've seen the economy turn around when stimulus has been applied many times in the past. We've gone through recessions. We've gone through market downturns. Eventually, they always bottom out. They recover, and they do that very quickly when the central bank is there to
Gary
act.
Kalbaum,
So you're saying
we should keep Gary Kalbaum. Gary Kalbaum. I don't think that's Gary Kalbaum. We should perhaps keep the sound, the din of the trading floor in our ears as we go to you. It's not a game. Peter's right, but it is a very exciting element of our economy that's going on right now. Is this just a blip or is it something serious?
Yes, it is me, Gary Kalpon, by the way. By the way, when somebody holds up 2 fingers, that means they want 2 Hannah Montana tickets, okay? Keep that in mind.
That's what this is about.
Let me just say this. We dropped 1,920 points in 18 days. We were due to rally. If you remember yesterday, I said reversals like yesterday, now like today, give impetus for the market to rally. We're going to get a rally out of here. I'd like to see more confirmation, but I love one thing. When I see financials lead, it's a good thing, and hopefully there's more to it, but I want to see more than just one day.
You're on. What do you think about that point, which is often the case where whatever financials do, so goes the market?
You know, that might be the case, but I think I agree with Peter on one point, and that is you can't read too much into one day's numbers. If I put on my finance professor hat on, I used to tell my students there's no real new news. We knew about the rate cut yesterday. The market goes up, the market goes down on a particular day. We still face the risk of a real recession. We still face inflation. We forget that last year was the highest inflation rate in 17 years.
But isn't it
These risks are out there, and that's why you get the volatility.
Isn't it interesting that Bobby in the S&P futures pit was telling us that, and telling Jeff Flock that, boy, at 1 p.m., J.P. Morgan came out with some comments, and the president said a couple of things, which, again, no real new news, but yet the market sees upon what they already know and turn that into a rally.
When there's enormous uncertainty in the market, people seize on anything. And tomorrow, if somebody says something negative, they might seize on it on the opposite direction.
Peter, go ahead.
Huh? What? No,
Go ahead, Peter.
I don't know if this is going to be any kind of meaningful short-term buy. You can say it's a reversal day. We took out the previous day's low, but I don't think we're anywhere near the highs from the other yesterday.
So
Gary, go ahead.
There has been nobody more bearish than me over the last 2 or 3 months.
What about me?
Okay, you, Peter. Pat on the back, Peter, okay? I'm going to send you a dozen cookies. You're always right. Look.
Gary, let me just jump in here. Per the NYSE, 6.62 billion total shares trading already.
Yeah.
This number includes off-exchange trades. That would be the electronic trades. It could be the busiest day ever, guys.
Yeah, I'll say this. I think the leg of this bear market's probably over in the near term, but now I want to see some more confirmation going forward.
You know, what gets me excited is when I see 2.6 billion shares being traded, that tells me we got something happening here. If there's like 1 billion or half a billion, that's not a confident rally. You see 2.6 billion shares being traded, that's a lot of confidence.
If this were happening in the absence of any policy adjustments, I would say it's probably a bear market rally. But we've seen some, not only the Fed rate cut, and don't forget, the past rate cuts, they still have, to affect the economy.
And there may be more to come next week.
Potentially a stimulus package on top of it all.
They better come next week.
This is real.
I mean, the market's pricing a rate cut next week. That's what they're pricing. So from the Fed's perspective,
they tell you anything?
this is a signal they better do it.
Peter, go ahead.
Talking to me now either.
There's nothing yet. Remember, the reason we're having all these problems is because of these stimulus packages in the past. The last thing we need is the Fed to come in, the government to come in to encourage more reckless spending, more borrowing. And you know what? I don't think the foreigners are going to want to finance it this time. They're not going to buy our paper anymore. It's all going to come from the Fed. It's going to be a money printing fest.
Let me just mention, you guys, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange E-mini S&P 500 trading contract up about 20.75, and that is the rally that we may end on today, David. Dow Jones Industrial's up 294 points, a massive point swing on huge volume.
As you hear the closing bell, and today, in fact, is the day for applause. The traders got into the action in one of the biggest trading days in history. Huge number of